All right, all right. All right, recording has started. So here's bell work. Go ahead and pause recording to work these two problems out, because I'm just going to go right to the answers and show what they are. All right, so here's the work for number 4 on the bell work. So you have to remember, whenever you square a binomial, you cannot ever square the x and then square that -3. You can't do that because it's a binomial. So you have to write this twice. Write x minus 3 times x minus 3, then you want to FOIL it. So you're going to have x times x times -3, -3 times x, -3 times -3. And that's how I got these first 4 terms. Same thing for this. You write it twice, FOIL it out, you get this. You combine like terms. I also, so that 9 plus 1 is 10, and then I went ahead and subtracted 10 both sides. That's how I got 0 on the right. But you want to, when you order, once you combine like terms, you order your stuff. You want to have your x squared, y squared first, followed by the x and then the y. So that's what I did here. We know from yesterday that whenever you have x squared plus y squared, it becomes r squared. So I have that here. X becomes r cosine theta, y becomes r sine theta. And then once you are here, what we are going to do is we are going to move these two terms to the right. So I added this and I subtracted this to get here. And then from this step to the last step, I divided everything by r. So r squared divided by r is r. This term divided by r, well, the r goes away. And then this term divided by r goes away. So that's the final answer. If you were to graph these, when you graph them, graphing is a good way to check your answer, because when you graph them, they should be identical. So, and then again, use Desmos and typing to get that theta symbol, you just type in theta and it just replaces, well, that word with, well, the symbol theta. Well, there you go. So that was number 9, number 4, number 9. So polar to rectangular, going the other direction. So I like clearing my fractions. If you have fractions, usually I would say it's probably a good idea to try to clear your fractions. I think it makes everything look easier. So that's what I did. I multiplied both sides by that denominator. So that's how I got r times all that stuff equals 15. Next, I distributed the r. So I did r times this term. I got this, and then r times this term to get that equals 15. So once you have, so remember, in order to convert from polar to rectangular for the y values, you need not just sine theta, but you need r times sine theta. So r times sine theta became y. The 3 carries down, multiplication. Over here, r cosine theta became x. That -2 carried down, and then there's your 15. And generally speaking, you want to solve for y. So that's what I did. I added 2x both sides, then divided everything by 3. So this divided by 3 is y. 2 divided by 3 is 2/3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. On your quiz that a lot of you did yesterday, but if you haven't, I think most of it's multiple choice. So when you go from polar to rectangular, generally you want to go to y equals, but all of the choices say x equal. So it's telling you indirectly you need to solve for x. That I hope is clear to people doing that the quiz. I didn't graph this one, but if you graphed it, you would get the same. You get a line just like that. So, all right, going on. We have a lot. Sorry, at the very end, if you guys do have questions on those 2 bell work problems, I will go back to the end. But this is a pretty long presentation, so I do want to get through it as fast as I can. Even though today's Wednesday. Oh, actually, I have till noon. Doesn't mean I want to use 2 hours for a pre-calc. How terrible is that? And I have done it before. And we're all exhausted. I'm exhausted. You're exhausted. So yeah, I don't like going more than an hour. So this is day 1 of 5.05. I think there's a total of 2 days, nope, 3 days for 5.05. So we're going to have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which means on Friday you will have the quiz on 5.05. All right, so operations with complex numbers. Well, we're going to complete basic arithmetic operations, or arithmetic operations with complex numbers. And some of you are probably wondering, what's a complex number? So if you have forgotten what a complex number is, I'm going to show you on the next slide, but we're being recorded, just FYI. All right. So we're going to do add, subtract. We're going to do exponents, multiplication, and division. We're going to cover all those things. What is a complex number? So if you've forgotten, a complex number is a number in the form of a plus b times I. And the coefficients a and b, those are real numbers. And I, we've learned at least freshman year, maybe sometime in grade school, that I is equal to the square root of -1. And we all know that if you type in the square root of -1 in a calculator, you'll probably get an error, or it might just actually might tell you I don't know, depending on which model you have, but those are imaginary numbers. And we are going to learn, I don't know if it's this week, I forget, but so we know about the Cartesian coordinate plane. You can actually graph complex numbers on the complex plane. I think it's called the Argand coordinate plane. I'm pretty sure that's right. But we're going to learn that either this week or maybe next week. So examples of complex numbers would be like 2 plus 3i, -4 minus 9i, 8i, -6i, radical 2 minus pi I. So these are all examples of complex numbers. So if you're thinking, how is this complex? Well, think about it as it being 0 minus 6i. It still meets this requirement, and a and b are real numbers. All right, questions so far on the definition of a complex number? All right. Let's keep going. Okay, so add, subtract. This is really nothing different than what you've probably done in the past. When you have two binomials and you're subtracting them, what do we do? So ignoring the fact that they're complex numbers, what do we do if we had a binomial minus a binomial? What do I do? You do want to combine like terms, but what should we do first? And really, that first step is kind of optional for some people, I guess. Yeah, you want to distribute that negative. I think that would probably be best. So remember, this is negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a positive is going to be negative. So that's what we're going to write here. So 7 minus 4i carries down. We can't do anything with that yet. We got +1 and -6i carry down. And then you just combine like terms. You're going to have 7 plus 1 is 8. And then -4i minus 6i is negative what? -10i. Yeah. And then that's your answer. So, all right, everyone do number 2 real quick. And then I'll go on to the next one. Let me find my phone. I think a good 30 seconds, right? A quick 30 seconds. So if your order's off, you're wrong. So the standard form to write your answer should be your real number, and then plus your complex number, I'm going to call it. So it should be in the form of a plus or minus bi. So if you put your I term first, it's wrong. And I will gladly mark it wrong on a TGA. So complex number from the previous slide definition, a plus bi, or a minus bi. All right, you good? All right, what is everyone in chat? Go ahead and write what your final answer is. -12 plus 5i. Dun, dun. All right, we got some people still here. All right, guys, if you're in class, this I think this was an easy problem. That if you're in here for the participation points, make sure you are participating. And a problem like that, number two on this page, I honestly expect everyone to be able to do that problem and give their answer to show that you're here. Problems that are definitely more involved that I could see. You know, learning it the first time and having difficulty and people not responding. I can totally understand that, appreciate that. But number two, honestly, if you're here, everyone should have done that problem and gave me an answer. So negative 12 plus 5i. All right, I'm going to skip numbers 3 and 4, but I will show the answers. I think these are pretty trivial on this page. But at the end, if you want me to come back to them and kind of just show the work, I can. But those are the answers for 3 and 4. Okay, what do you notice? So looking at this, I put what I equals. Of course, we all know it's radical -1. We also, I think the first two everyone knows. I is radical -1. I squared equals -1. Right? Would you say that everyone knows this, or would you say that you knew these already, I and I squared, from previous math classes? Yeah, and maybe you forgot, put someone on the spot. People, there's studies about it. If you go on YouTube and if you pressure somebody under stress and you ask them simple questions, they will freeze. So if you're freezing right now because math stresses you out, I get it. I get it. So you may have to kind of come back and look at this later and go at your own pace. I'm someone that really, no matter what class I took, especially in grad school, I would record every lesson. Like we're recording this, and I would listen the best I could, but everything was like going over my head, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So what I did was, after class that evening when I went home to study, I turned on the recording that I did, and I listened to it again, and I pause it when needed, so I could digest what was being said and what I was learning. And that was honestly the only way that I would have learned anything. So if you're somebody that in any class, not just math class, that you're going through it, and the first time around you are just feeling overwhelmed and you don't understand it, well, it makes sense because you're learning for the first time, and most people don't get things the first time. I know I don't. So don't feel bad. You just have to just come back to it, work through it again, pause it, and then you will probably feel better. I know I did. So don't get discouraged if you don't get stuff the first time. Most people don't. Now, if you don't, so if you are feeling overwhelmed right now and you don't put the time in to kind of go through it again, well, you're just doing that to yourself. But anyway, back to math. All right, so we got I is this, I squared is -1, I cubed is I to the fourth is 1, I to the fifth is I to the sixth is -1, I to the seventh is -I. What do you notice? What do you notice based on what I just shown you? So so someone says there's a pattern. Well, it looks like, look, so we got negative, negative, positive, positive, negative, negative. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it kind of alternates, right? Two negatives followed by two positives followed by two negatives. So that might be true. Okay, I will buy that. What else we got? And someone else says it alternates between ones and I. So yeah, so I think those are good observations. So, don't want to. I just gave it away. Sad. So, for example, what if I had you do I to the, let's say, 76th power? Um, do you think you could actually give me the answer based on what you know right now? Oh, really? Oh, really? You think you can, huh? All right, take a guess. Take a guess. So you think it's one? Well, really, you don't. You only have so many choices, right? You have one, negative one, I, and negative I. I think it looks like. So Emily says one. Chloe says it's one. George says it's negative I. Um, yeah, Julia, if you want to, yeah, go ahead and explain your reasoning. I don't know if it's going to be right, but I do want to hear it.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Okay. So, you asked what I to the 76 power is, and I said 1 because 76 is a multiple of 4. 4 times 19 is 76. And the cycle repeats after I to the 4th power. So I knew that every I to something that is a multiple of 4 will be 1. So that is why I to the 76 is 1.
That is a fantastic guess. I would say you are half. I would say you're halfway there. Okay, let's do this then. Then what's I to the 77th power? Okay, you are all too smart for your own good. Making this too easy on me. All right. So the mathematical way to do it, what Julie was saying is the whole like multiple of 4. Yes, you need to use that. So what you do, you take the exponent and you divide it by 4 and then write the remainder. So after you divide by 4, if the remainder is 0, like it was, Julia said, I think it was like 76 divided by 4 is 13, remainder 0, which means the answer would be 1. 77 divided by 4 is 13, remainder 1, so remainder 1. So that means I to the 77th power would be I, like a lot of you said, and so forth. So again, divide by 4, get your remainder 0, remainder 1, remainder 2, or remainder 3. Those are the 4 choices, and then that's what the answer would be. So let's try some. Everyone do I to the 23rd power. Let's say 23 seconds. Oh, sorry, not 23 seconds, 30 seconds. I was thinking of the 23rd power still. It's stuck in my head. All right. So, what did everyone get in chat? What did everyone get? Negative I, negative I, lots of negative I's. Let's take a look. Is the answer negative I? Oh, it is negative I. Yep. And the reason why? Because 23 divided by 4 is 5, remainder 3. And based on the rule, remainder 3 means I to the 23rd power is equal to negative I. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. All right, everyone try. Let's do. Everyone try the next 3 real quick. I think 1 minute is plenty of time to do these 4 problems.
Are we going to pull all three in chat at the same time or separately?
Yeah, we can do. No, we'll just do them. We'll do them separately. I'll ask for the second one, third one, then fourth one. So we'll do a minute. So I got another 48 seconds left. Okay, so if you get finished early, choose choice B. So if you're done, choose B. All right. So again, if you are done, choose B. If you are still working, but almost done, choose D. Araceli, you just pick one randomly, thinking always choose C when in doubt. Oh, okay. You heard C. I should say like D as in dog or B as in boy, right? No, it's okay. I don't enunciate sometimes. So it's okay. All right. 15. All right. So everyone responded. All right. So what's the answer to the second one? -1. Lots of negative ones. What's the answer to the third one? Lots of I's. Okay. Yep. And the answer to the fourth one? Lots of ones. Yep. Nice job, everyone. Here's the work if you needed to see it. All right. We good to go? Moving forward? Okay, so multiplying complex numbers. So we got like this. We got the complex number 5 plus 7i and the complex number 2 minus 2i. So what do you think we do to multiply these? You FOIL it. Yes. Yes, you FOIL it. I would do 5 times 2, 5 times -2, 7i times 2, and then 7i times -2i. So let me go ahead and write this down. All right, 5 times 2 is 10. All right, 5 times -2i is -10i. 7i times 2 is positive 14i. And then 7 times -2i is negative 14i squared. Everyone in agreement? What is I squared equal to again? What is I squared equal to again? Thank you, -1. See, we've already forgotten. We've already forgotten. I squared is equal to -1. So I'm just going to cross off I and replace that with -1. And then a negative times a negative. This right here, a -14 times -1 is a positive 14. Everyone agree with that? All right, so now let's combine like terms. We have 14 and 10. What's 14 and 10 make? 24. Yep. All right, and then other like terms, we have those two I terms. So -10i and 14i, what do those two make? 4i, yep, positive 4i. All right, that is your final answer. How exciting, right? How exciting. Okay, let's everyone do number 7 and 8. Everyone do number 7 and 8. So nobody's tempted. I just cover those up. 7 and 8. Let me give you, I think 2 minutes should be enough. yeah, we could sure. Let's do the green check. Yeah. So if you're done, give me a green check. If you're not done, don't choose anything yet. All right. So if you're done, choose green check. If you are not done, choose the X. So at least I know you are here. All right. So is it safe to say that everyone's done at least with the first problem? Is that probably safe to say? Yeah. So people that are still working, are you at least done with the first one? And probably almost done with the second one. I think 2 minutes may have been just not enough, right? You probably need another 30 seconds. So it's only a few people that haven't done it. So everyone in chat, go ahead and write your answer for number 7. Ooh, 22 plus 58i, 22 plus 59i. Oh my goodness.
I meant to put 58. I typed
Okay.
the 9 by accident.
Hey, I didn't call you out. But it was Antonio, guys. It was Antonio. He typed that.
I have big fingers. My apologies.
Are you watching this class on your iPhone?
Ha ha ha! Very funny.
Sometimes my jokes make me laugh. All right. I think that's right, everyone. So it looks like everyone's right except Antonio. He said 59i. But that's okay. And if you're wondering, here is the work. All right, number 8. What is that answer? 19 plus 9i. 19 plus 9i. Maybe. It's only maybe like less than half of you have given me an answer. All right, what number is that? Yeah, if you're here and you have number 8 done, if you're number 8, if you have it done, give me a green check. If you aren't quite finished with number 8, give me an X.
You should have flipped it to confuse people.
I know. Then I confuse myself. Yeah, it gives me an idea of who. So I think some people are they're smart and they're playing the game. They're thinking, oh, he won't pull again until at least another slide or two. So I'm good to I don't know, go play video games or something. I don't know what you do when you're not doing this.
They're practicing Among Us so they could beat you next time.
Ooh, it's true. It's true. All right. So some people aren't here. All right. So the answer for number 8 is 19 plus 9i. Here's the work. Any questions? So far, this is it almost feels like review in a way, right? It's not painful like some other lessons were. Does this lesson feel kind of random compared to what we did like the last couple days and last week? Yeah, I thought so too. But it's all going to come together eventually. I promise you. We're actually going to work complex numbers into polar. So don't worry. The fun is just beginning. Okay, so division. Everyone's like, oh no, not fractions, not division. Well, yes, division. So when we have a complex number divided by a complex number, just like when you have radicals in your denominator, when we had to rationalize, we need to, it's not, I don't know if there's a word for it, but basically, you don't want to have i's in your denominators. So we have to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate pair of the original denominator. So do any of you know or remember what a conjugate pair is? So looking at this first one, if the denominator is -8 plus 3i, what is the conjugate pair to this? And we did talk about conjugate pairs in unit 4 or 3. I don't remember. So it looks like George got it. George says -8 minus 3i, and he's correct. So the conjugate pair, all you have to do is just rewrite this, but whatever this sign is in front of your I term, you just flip it. If it's plus, it becomes minus. If it's minus, it becomes plus. That's all you got to do, and that's a conjugate pair. Hopefully that should sound somewhat familiar. So you are multiplying the top and bottom by the conjugate pair. In this case, it becomes -8 minus 3i, top and bottom. Because all you're doing is multiplying by 1, right? It just looks nasty. But yeah, you're multiplying it by 1. You're not changing the value. You're changing the way it looks. All right, so how do we deal with this? What do we got to do? Multiply. What do you mean multiply like terms? Multiply how? So just cross out? Just x across? So
No,
are
I
you...
was talking about just cross this, multiplying them straight across.
Okay, so how would you multiply it? FOIL. Thank you, Emily. I was looking for the word FOIL. Yes, you want to FOIL. So you have a binomial times a binomial. So you are, if it helps you to do this to the top and bottom so you don't make mistakes, that's what we're doing. You are multiplying the binomial on top and the binomial on bottom. So everyone quickly do that. Did everyone get that on top? No mistakes, right? Is it because you wrote your 4 like 20 times? Kept messing up. Oh wait, there's no 4s in this. Never mind. Sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm trying to finish before the time runs out. All right, the bottom, multiplying that out. Everyone agree with that? Why is it minus 3i, not positive 3i? Well, let me look. Maybe I made a mistake. Do it all the time, on purpose, of course. Where? Point to it, Emily. What are you talking about?
Right here's what we're talking about.
Oh, so positive 3i times -3.
No, that's my question. Like right there, when you multiplied it, why is it -8 minus 3i instead of plus 3i?
So when I created my conjugate pairs, so conjugate pairs, when you look at this one, you have to flip the sign when you rewrite it. So when you multiply a complex number by its conjugate pair, So you just rewrite this, but you change this sign of the I term. When you multiply these out, your i's are going to disappear. But does somebody see a mistake in my numbers here?
Yeah, right where I was pointing at right now. That's why I thought she was pointing right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I did it on purpose, by the way, so see if you're paying attention. Yes, what number should that really be?
A 9.
That should be a 9, not a 3. Of course, I did it on purpose because why would I do things the right way the first time? That would make no sense. So that's should be a minus 9 I squared. I promise, I know what I'm doing, guys. I promise you. All right. So now that I fixed
Yeah, we
that,
promise we believe you.
that on purpose mistake, we're gonna go on and combine stuff on top. So we get that, and if I was doing this work on my own paper, obviously I'm typing a lot here, but that I would go ahead and cross that out and just put -1 right there, just to kind of save myself from writing so much. But I went ahead and I just wrote it anyways, or I typed it anyways. All right, so the bottom's going to be wrong because of my on purpose mistake. Let me just fix that. So this is going to be minus 9 times -1. And then the next step, we just continue to simplify stuff on top. Hopefully that's right. I think it is. And then on the bottom, we're going to fix that. And let me fix my mistake. So anybody ever watch the guy on PBS, Ross, something Ross, the painter guy with the
Bob
big fro?
Ross.
Bob Ross, thank you. Maybe a +9. And anybody remember what he said when he made a mistake?
They're
Yeah,
happy
recall.
accidents.
Happy accidents, guys. These are happy accidents. Yes, all my mistakes are happy accidents. It's something we can fix, we can learn from, and make something else out of. Happy accidents. My mistakes are not happy. They're never happy. All right, you need some happy clouds in your life. All right, so the top continues to simplify further. Again, I'm probably showing a lot of like steps, like very long drawn out steps, and some of you can probably condense my work into probably one or two less steps to show. But I'm just being really thorough to really show, I guess, my process. So, and that's the final answer.
Don't forget to change it because your bottom part's so wrong.
Ah, you're right. You're right. What is that? 73? Is that right?
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure 73 is prime, so I don't have to worry about reducing that fraction. All right. Not too bad, right? And maybe your work was a step or two less than mine. I just showed a lot of steps, so it looks like it's more complicated than it really is. All right, so let's look at everyone. Let's do number 9 and number let's do number 9 and 10. Everyone do number 9 and 10. So let's do 3 minutes for number 9, and then we'll go over it. 3 minutes. And I'm gonna check, see how much more we have left to do. All right, that's it. So 9/11 are the last two examples that we're going to do today. So we are just about finished. Did I say 9/11 or 9 and 10? 9 and 10. Okay, let me just circle because I don't remember anything. We'll do 9 and 10. I thought I just circled 10. Okay. Oh, it did. It circled it twice. That's weird. So what's nice about these, if you choose the wrong conjugate pair, your eyes won't disappear on the bottom. And that's when you know you mess something up. Ooh, time is up. So let me ask this. If you are done, choose B. If you need more time, choose C. And ooh, looks like we need more time. Okay, so how about? And remember, I asked for number 9. I didn't say number 9 and 10. So number 9. You think 3 more minutes would be good? Yeah, 3 more minutes. Okay, we'll do 3 more minutes. Since these are our last two examples for the day, I think we can spend the time. Are you done with number 9 or number 9 and 10, Emily? Okay. Well, now go on to number 10. All right. So everyone in chat, go ahead and write down your answer to number 9, please. So we have, it looks like we got 2 answers so far that differ. So one thing I do want to point out. So I'm gonna use Yuri's typed answer. So typing an answer like that is actually wrong. So because you, like Yuri, I know what you meant, but what you typed isn't what you meant, or something. Hopefully, you understand what I'm saying. So negative 1/5 minus. So you're saying that 9i is in the numerator. So you need to put that 9i in parentheses. So if you're typing like just text, that's how it should be typed. But I don't want anybody to type out answers on a TGA. I want to see handwritten stuff, okay, your work, and then stuff, scanned in, whether your phone or your scanner, and then upload it as a PDF for your submission. I cringe when I see people type their work, unless they use the equation editor and it looks beautiful, like most of my stuff does on these presentations. But not everyone knows how to use that. Maybe like one of these days, I'll take you through on how to use that, because I think it's a really neat skill to have. Yeah, there's a lot of things that when I first started using it that I didn't know about, and I had to learn over time. And I was like, wow, if I would have known how to use this, it would have just saved me so much time. So maybe I will go over it. Chloe?
Something, does it have to be broken into 2 fractions?
Yes, because that's how your quiz and test want it. Whether it's like multiple choice or fill in the blank, they do want you to have 2 distinct terms. And like what Emily said, the whole A plus BI. So they don't want A plus BI all over some common denominator. They don't want that for your answer. They actually want your A term, whether it's like a rational number or like an integer, and then plus or minus your B term. So, yep, I know. Good to know. Good to know for sure. All right, so number 9. Let's take a look at that. Final answer. Let's jump right to that. I think all of you are right. It is negative 1/5 minus 9 over 10i. And your quiz and your test, they do want the I hanging out to the right of that fraction, because this shows that A is negative 1/5, B is negative 9/10. So that's the form they want it. They don't want you to put the I in the numerator, even though it's not wrong if you do. Like if I was grading a TGA and I saw the I in the numerator, to me, it's not wrong. But to be in the right format, A plus BI, they do want it looking like this. So on your test, if you want to grade correctly, this is how it wants you to write it. And really, I want to say I can't remember, but I think like when you do one of these problems or a problem like this, and it wants you to enter your answer, I think there's like a blank space for this number, and then there's like a blank space for this number, and then after that blank, they put the I in there for you, so you can't mess that up. I think that's what they do. But as we get closer to the test, if you remember, I can look and let you know if you're really curious. All right. All right. To show the work, let me just quickly breeze through the work for number 9. Hopefully, all of you are done with number 10 and working on it. So there's number 9. All right. So number 10. You're close. What happened, Emily? What happened? No, I mean, oh, you're close to finishing number 10. Oh, I see. I thought you meant you're close to the correct answer. Okay. You almost done with number 10? Like how close? Like 30 seconds away? 1 minute? 33 seconds? Okay. All the above? All right, I'll give you 30 seconds then to finish that problem. All right, everyone in chat, go ahead and write the answer to number 10, please. What did you get? We got 44 over 65 minus 53 over 65i. So you actually don't need the parentheses if you just put 53 by itself. Just to pick on Yuri again, even though more than him put that answer. So if you want to be extra correct, even though not having any parentheses actually is okay. But to really be super clear, maybe you should put 53 over 65 in parentheses. I'm about to type right now. So that would probably be better if you were typing it. So that really shows that's the fraction, and then you're timesing that by I. Without the parentheses, you're saying 53 divided by 65 and then times I, which is correct. It just looks like, and I don't know if you mean to say 53 divided by 65I, that's what it looks like, but that's, anyway, going off on a tangent of typing stuff. Basically, just don't type stuff left or right. I hate sideways fractions unless you're like baking a cake. And you look at like a measuring cup and it says like 1/2. It's 1/2 from left to right. Most measuring cups don't have top, bottom, 1/2. So really, to me, the only time it's appropriate to use sideways fractions left to right is, well, if you're baking cookies or cake and you have to look at a recipe book or look at the measuring cup. So my opinion, which, may not matter to some of you, so it's okay. All right, so number 10. That's what you guys said it was, right? Is that the answer? All right, all right. And if you're looking for the work for number 10, let me just quickly show it. Here we go. All right. Number 11, I'm just going to show the work. So if you don't want to see the work for this, kind of look away until I show it, and people that are watching the recording, pause it so you can work this problem out before seeing the work. So here's the problem, and here is the work. Hopefully that's right. I'm going to say maybe. Number 12. Again, if you're watching the recording, go ahead and pause this so you can't see the answer quite yet. Work it out. I'll show the answer first this time. So there's the answer. And here is the corresponding work. All right, everyone, that's all we have today. Do we have any questions?
Back, can you go back to problem 10 quick? Thank you.
Yep. So make sure you guys go through the learn and practice modules like you're supposed to, because there's some really good examples. And some of the examples for these, they're more in depth, and you really want to go through them, because I didn't go through some of the, I guess, in-depth problems of putting a lot of stuff together just to save time. But all of you can do that, of course. So make sure you do. And as always, thanks for coming, and I hope you learned something.